We all know that donuts taste delicious, but have you ever wondered how they're made? In today's video, we'll be discussing each and every procedure involved in making these delicious donuts. An overview. We'll start by talking about the processing of ingredients, which includes flour, sugar, eggs, and butter. Next, the dough is mixed and kneaded before being rolled out and cut into donut shapes. The donuts are then fried in oil and coated with a variety of toppings and glazes. Finally, they're packaged and shipped by grocery stores and restaurants all over the country. There's a lot that goes into making donuts, but the end result is always worth it. So let's start by actually getting to know the whole process in a much more detailed way. Types of donut dough. There are three general types of donut dough: yeast-raised, cake, and biscuit. Each one has a unique preparation process. Yeast-raised donuts are made with a dough that's fermented with yeast. After the dough is prepared, it's allowed to rise for a period of time before it's shaped into donuts and fried. Cake donuts are made with a batter that contains eggs, butter, sugar, and flour. The batter is typically leavened with baking powder or soda, which gives the donuts their light and fluffy texture. Biscuit donuts are made with a biscuit-style dough that's similar to the dough used for biscuits or scones. The donuts are fried in hot oil and then rolled in sugar or cinnamon sugar. Mixing the donut dough. The next step is mixing the donut dough. The dough is made up of a variety of ingredients, including flour, sugar, eggs, milk, baking powder, and yeast. The ingredients are combined in a mixer and then kneaded for a few minutes. This helps to develop the gluten in the flour, which gives the donut its characteristic fluffy texture. Cutting and molding donuts. The donut making process begins with cutting the dough into rounds. This is done by machines that can produce up to 5,000 donuts per hour. The rounds are then fed into a mold, which gives them their distinctive donut shape. There are a variety of molds, each of which produces a different type of donut. The molds are then released and the donuts fall onto a conveyor belt that carries them to the next stage in the process. Frying donuts in boiling oil. The fourth step in making donuts is frying. Donuts are dropped into boiling oil and cooked until both sides turn golden brown. This process gives them their crisp exterior and soft, fluffy interior. Once they're ready, they are fished out of the oil with a slotted spoon or spatula and placed onto a plate lined with paper towels to absorb any excess oil. To ensure that all donuts are evenly cooked through, the process should be repeated several times until the desired softness is achieved. Finally, once the donuts have cooled down, they are then ready for glazing or topping. Making glazed donuts. When it comes to making glazed donuts, the process is a little different. Firstly, oil, fat, and water are mixed in a large bowl. Then, pre-made dough pieces are added to the mixture and left alone to sit in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes to rise. After that, the dough pieces are taken and put through a donut shaping machine that punches out the classic donut shape with holes in the middle. It is then deep fried onto those shapes until they are golden brown before taking them out and letting them cool down on racks. Next, some sugar syrup is heated up in a pot and each donut is dipped into it one by one. It is then sprinkled on with some powdered sugar or cinnamon sugar before being placed on trays, which gets them ready for packaging. Lastly, the workers place the trays of freshly made glazed donuts into boxes and set them off to be delivered to retailers. Making filled donuts. Let's talk about filled donuts, my favorite. We all know that these sweet treats are delicious, so how are they made in factories? Well, it starts with suppliers who send pre-made dough to the factory. The factory then recreates the donut shapes with an automated molding machine before moving on to the filling process. First, a conveyor belt feeds the donuts into a jelly filling machine that spits out just the right amount of jelly into each one. Then, there's a cradle that flips the donuts over and slides them onto a creaming machine that pipes in the cream filling. After that, they go through another belt-like machine that turns them face up and flips them onto trays. The trays are then wheeled away to be fried. Once fried, they get rolled in sugar and cinnamon before heading off on another conveyor belt for packaging. The donuts get vacuum sealed for freshness before being boxed up and sent off for shipping and retail sale. And there you have it, a fresh packet of donuts. Adding icing and toppings to donuts. After the donuts are cooked and cooled, their toppings and glazes can be added. Icing is applied first, usually a fondant mix that starts off as an oil-based paste. This paste is smoothed onto the cooled donuts using a pastry comb and then left to dry. Once the fondant has dried, colorful glazes are prepared by combining vegetable oils and food-grade emulsifiers and then heated until they reach the desired consistency. These glazes can be drizzled or swirled onto each donut with a spoon or poured into a special container called a hopper that evenly distributes the icing over each one. Sprinkles, nuts, shredded coconut, and other toppings can be added either by hand or mechanically through specialty machines. Finally, after all these steps, the donuts are ready for packaging. Quality control for donuts. The 8th step in the process is quality control. This step is important to make sure that all the donuts meet the same standards. To do so, workers inspect each donut for flaws and then discard those with imperfections. After that, they check their weight and size. If it doesn't match the predetermined criteria, then it gets discarded too. The donuts that pass this tough scrutiny are then ready to be packaged and shipped out. Finally, they're placed onto sanitized packaging material and labeled according to their weight, type, flour, and other specifications. Labeling is done with a machine and also manually to ensure that all the information is accurate. The machines automatically seal the packages after it's been filled with donuts, creating a hygienic package that can easily be transported around the world. Packaging of donuts. It's almost time for the donuts to be bagged and sent out into the world. The packaging process involves making sure that the donuts are securely wrapped in a bag with labels in order to identify flavors and everything. Typically, this is a machine-controlled process. Next, they're placed in boxes that can hold multiple donuts but are designed to protect them from damage during shipping. Finally, the donut boxes will be weighed, labeled, and ready to go. Once packaged, the donuts will then be shipped to stores or bakeries around the world for you to purchase and enjoy. How incredible is it that there are now multiple machines and processes responsible for getting us these delicious treats? Shipment of donuts.